You are rolling.
Awesome. All right. Well, hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Denver Art Society. This month we did this fabulous program downstairs. We did a science and art show. Chloe here was the contender who not only thought of it, but also made it all come to fruition, and it was wonderful. So I'm here to talk a little bit about that today. So Chloe, tell me, what made you decide that you wanted to mix art with science?
Yeah, definitely. For me, it definitely comes from a very personal place. I am a scientist. I just finished my doctorate in metallurgy, and still work in that field. And then being a member here at DOS, I'm also an artist. So for me, those are just two sides of me that have always been really important to me. And so I've kind of been on this exploration of, how does science and art fit together? What are common themes? What are shared ideas and inspirations? And so to me, it kind of came down to a point where I was like, man, it'd be really cool to get artists and scientists in the same room talking and working together. And really what I wanted to do was have them feed off each other and inspire each other. I think artists have this awesome way of just opening their minds to just new ideas and interesting things and just getting really excited about just the creative process. And scientists, I think that's what initially really drives us, but then we look up and, we're bogged down in whatever technical work we're doing and we lose kind of the whole point. And so having this conversation was kind of something to inspire both sides where they can feed off of each other and really kind of look at the beautiful sides of what they do and the exciting parts in a new way. So that was really cool. Yeah.
Most definitely. So we had 3 different science fields.
Yeah.
So tell me about whichever artist you want to start with, and we'll just kind of work down the line.
Artist or scientist?
We'll start with scientist and then the artist that
Perfect.
did that scientist. Yes, your follow.
Yeah, totally. No worries. We can. I guess we can go right down the line. So one of our scientists was Nicola Maher. She is a climate scientist. And she was super cool. She does work, I'm totally gonna botch it, but she does work particularly modeling kind of how the climate changes globally based on different kind of things that are happening, like precipitation or movements in water or dryness or different things like that, to kind of predict locally how different weather events might impact a climate on different parts of the globe. So it was really cool hearing about her work and honestly learning more about climate science. I didn't know much about it. Yeah. Oh, it was excellent.
There's a lot of people have a big debate about whether, there's global warming or not, or whether it's just the general ebb and flow of the world, or,
Yeah.
but I firmly believe that we just need to pay attention. We're supposed to be stewards of the land to which we keep, so
Yeah.
I feel that we all try to do that. So it's nice to see that there are people out there that specifically specify in trying to find those answers and share it with people so that maybe their eyes can be opened a little bit to see what's actually really going on out there in the world.
Yeah, and I think it was cool too to hear from her, because I think in their world as a climate scientist, there's a lot of stuff that, maybe on a normal level we kind of talk about all the time, and they kind of take them as assumptions. And so it was interesting to see kind of more the details that then they go through to learn about local climates and climate change across different scales. So that was, definitely a really interesting conversation.
That's super neat. So which artists, there was 2 artists that did her work?
3, close. So we had 3 artists. We had Linda Hart, John Gatt, and Julie Clark, who were artists with her. And they were really excellent. It was so funny. So each of these, as you know, because you're one of the artists, each of the scientists and artists had a conversation before the event to kind of learn about what the scientists did and then to get inspiration for their artwork. And all of the conversations were just shockingly awesome. I asked a few questions and the artists just ran with it. And that one was cool too, because all of those artists just really took to it and even on stage for the event, you could tell they had a real passion for it, which is really cool. Yeah.
That's awesome. And the next scientist was?
Yeah, next scientist was Margaret Fitzgerald, which you worked with.
Mm-hmm.
And her background's material science, and she's kind of working in chemistry at the moment. But she works a lot on fuel cells, and especially looking at nanoparticles, and I believe kind of how they pass through membranes, if I remember right. But the application space is definitely fuel cells, and she's a microscopist, so she works on electron microscopes, which for people who don't know, those are microscopes that use electrons instead of visible light to look at some kind of object, and so you can see a lot finer features. So that was kind of a cool aspect of her work. I know you related, yeah. And so you were one of our artists, and our other artist was Ashley Allen, actually our president here at DOS, and you guys did some super cool work. Yeah. Yeah, you guys ran with it too. I remember you guys got on, you're like, oh yeah, like that's so cool. I can relate to this. Yeah.
It was really neat. The conversation from my end as well, just to hear about some of the new things that are coming out and what people are actually working on today, and what's going to be. It's kind of like a glimpse into what's going to be in our future and what's going to be coming up next down the line, which was pretty neat.
Yeah.
And then the last scientist that you had out there.
They're weirdly similar sometimes when you
right?
like that, yeah.
Actually, very much so. You know as well as I do from being on both ends of that spectrum. It's
totally.
very, very much the same thing, except for you have the spectrum of people where they're like very much book this. No, that can't work because this book. And then you have people like us that are a little bit more outside the box.
Yeah.
That really are the ones that get the science done, because we're like, no, wait a minute. If you go back,
wait, there could be something different.
You should just try it and see what happens, because that's what it's about.
Oh, it's so funny. No, very true. Sometimes you got to get out of your book, your box. Yeah, totally.
Absolutely, you gotta have that alternate perspective.
Yeah, definitely.
And so most definitely. So, last scientist.
Yeah, so the last scientist was Ben Ellison, who's actually one of my good friends. He's also a metallurgist. And so he actually forges metal. So he did his own sculpture, and then we had Matthew Gallus here at the Art Society, who was excellent also. And they both did some works. And the cool thing about theirs was, Ben had this metal piece that he made that was really cool. And then Matthew he ran with the historical elements and made this super cool painting. So he was really cool, and you could tell very thoughtful and really got into it. So kind of like all of our artists, honestly, all of you guys really put your head in that space, and it was awesome.
It was a super awesome project. It really was. Just to bring new people into our society and make new bonds and learn new stuff. And that's really what it's about. Totally,
and I think in a weird way, I should have expected this knowing DOS, but it kind of became little community groups a little bit. You could tell, in the phone calls and even, at the show, there was definitely, I feel connected to my scientist, I feel connected to the work we're doing. It was really cool.
It was absolutely. Well, thank you for taking your time and coming down and doing this interview with us. The show is going to be amazing, and I really look forward to putting everybody's artwork up for everybody to see and sharing it with the rest of the society who wasn't able to make it out. But it's good because the event was packed, so they wouldn't have been able to event anyway. So
it was crazy. Yeah, awesome. We'll think about doing another one, but it was great.
Most definitely, I would definitely be interested in doing another one. That would be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
And that's it.